White-tailed deer are funny animals. Predicting their behavior during a still hunt is an incredibly difficult task. Misreading the situation is more common than not, but if you learn anything from this video, it's that reacting to a deer sighting and running toward it is most often going to be the worst mistake you can make. There are many factors to still hunting and spotting a deer. Did the deer hear, see, or smell you? Or a combination? Which way is the wind blowing? What is the terrain like? And then there's the deer brain itself. Is he running away, or is he going to try to scent and identify you? If you're deep into the hunting season and the deer see lots of pressure, they're more likely going to run away than at the beginning of the season, or when there's no pressure. Even pressure from coyotes plays a factor. And a big factor is where you are in the rut. The different stages cause deer to respond differently, both the bucks and the does. There are just too many factors to dive into in this short video, and I'm sure there will be negative comments about the video on something I missed or something that someone would do differently. But if you're new to hunting, let this just be a starting point to gaining more experience and enjoying our great outdoors. Still hunting is an art. It's the ability to slowly and quietly stalk, pursue, or even ambush your prey. It requires extreme focus and patience. For me, it's the ability to walk for hours and cover very little ground. I was still hunting this day when I came upon a small doe feeding on the edge of this old logging road. She hadn't noticed me, and I thought I should make a video on my still hunting methods. I spend most mornings and evenings in a stand or a deer blind, overlooking apples for hours, hoping to capitalize on deer that might walk in for a sweet snack. During the rest of the day, usually starting when I need to warm up or take a leak, I leave my stand to go walk and still hunt. It's an incredible way to explore and experience nature at its finest. You become hyper observant and will witness things in the wild you could never imagine. It's peaceful, meditative, and a great way to hunt deer or partridge. Generally speaking, I still hunt by walking extremely slowly and stopping often to listen and look around. If I really need to watch my feet, I'll only take 3 to 5 steps before stopping. And while you're looking around, be sure to check behind you. I've had numerous deer pop out behind me on a trail to investigate me, so you'll see me look back quite often. Remember, listening is a huge part of still hunting. Often if you jump a deer, you'll only hear it. You won't see it. Walking into the wind is not always possible, but it's certainly to your advantage. A good still hunter is very aware of wind direction and plans around it. I use an app called Windy to help me plan my still hunting in advance. I use this app for boating and fishing as well. At the start of this video, I was still hunting and spotted a doe feeding on the side of the road, and she crossed it, but she never noticed me. The wind was in my favor, and being mid-November, the rut was on, and bucks are often trailing and following does. So in this scenario, I stayed put. I stayed put for 45 minutes, hoping that a buck might be trailing her and cross the road as well, where I would be there waiting to ambush him. But it just never materialized. One of the biggest mistakes most hunters make is spotting a deer and then quickly moving to the spot where the deer was last seen. This is a rookie mistake, as any experienced hunter will tell you. If you have the wind in your face and the deer didn't get your scent, the deer will often circle back around to try to identify you. Once he tags you, for the most part, it's game over. Generally, if I spook a deer that didn't get my scent, I will quite often backtrack and set up an ambush approach, back inside the woods so he can't get downwind of me. If after some time he doesn't show, I may circle through the woods to try to intercept him or go back to where he was last seen and try to track him. Tracking is not an easy or highly successful tactic from my experience. The deer are just too cagey. For me, the best time to track deer is after a freshly fallen snow. A huge part of my still hunting strategy is to just sit. Walk and sit, walk and sit, walk and sit. Sometimes if I plan to sit for a while, I'll cold call. There's a lot of calls out there, from cans to reed calls. I personally don't use calls that often. My preference is to try to stay invisible, not to announce myself to a deer. The only advice I can give here is call sparingly. 1 or 2 blasts every 20 to 30 minutes is plenty. Rattling fake antlers can be effective too, especially if done during the rut. It can get bucks fired up and force them to make a mistake and run right up to you. Don't overcook rattling or calling. Just keep it short and simple. A lot of old logging roads I hunt have a main artery with fingers that are fairly close together. Sometimes you can drive deer toward the other road and not even realize it. I don't just hunt one finger and not the other. You'd be amazed how many times I've done this and had success. Be careful about putting your hand out to use old trees for balance when you're still hunting. It's been more than once that the top of an old tree has snapped off only to come crashing down close to me. A bonk on the head could really dampen a hunting trip. I tell you guys, I wouldn't still hunt without a knapsack. It's my lifeline. It has everything I need to survive in the woods if something goes wrong. I've got an extra battery charging station for my phone. I've got a compass and a map in there of the area, matches. I've got survival rations in there, my lunch, water. I've got extra heavier gloves. It's a place to store take off layers and put in your pack. Something to sit on. It has my scent cover. It has everything in there.
I've got another video that I've done with what I carry in my knapsack, so I won't get into great detail here, but I wouldn't go still hunting without my knapsack. It's, it's invaluable. I hunt alone. I need to know that if anything goes wrong or anything happens, I can gut the deer. I've got multiple knives in here. I've got stuff to drag it out. I don't have to go back to the truck and come back in the woods again. Find a knapsack that fits you, that is a nice day pack, and it'll be invaluable. It's to me, it's just as important as bringing my gun along.
Still hunting can often take you off the beaten path. Depending on the terrain, I often will throw a spare hat or a glove onto the trail before poking my head out. Still hunting can make you sound very much like a deer, and I don't want to be mistaken by an overexcited hunter. You can't talk about still hunting and not mention scent. I almost always use a cover scent on myself and make sure that I'm not wearing anything perfumey. A fogger can be a good addition to your strategy as well. As important as scent is today, our grandfathers shot deer while smoking cigarettes and reeking of campfire. But at the end of the day, I want every advantage I can have. When bucks are in high rut, though, you can almost get away with anything. With still hunting, your odds of getting lost increase greatly, especially if you're tracking or trying to ambush a deer. So before you leave the house, always tell someone where you're going and that you'll check in with them when you return. Know your area and rely on your map and compass or your electronics. When I'm preparing for a hunt in a new area, I rely heavily on Google Maps and Google Earth to plan things out long before I hit the woods. I have always said the difference between adventure and disaster is planning. Enjoy your hunt and stay safe.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out the details below in the description. There's lots of information in there. And please leave me a comment. Leave me your thoughts. Love to hear from you guys. I always try to reply to everybody's comments. As well, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell to get the notifications when a new video has been uploaded. As well, if you like this video, you'll find more just like it right here. And don't forget to head over to my website by clicking right there. Thanks for watching.